Hello everyone, happy Friday. I hope you had a lovely Thanksgiving. Nice and cool temperatures, and they're going to be pretty consistent moving forward. Not too much of a change. This forecast may be a little bit boring, but we do have some things to highlight, and the really cool temperatures are going to be sticking around. Taking a look, this is around sunset when we saw about 37 degrees. Taking a quick look at downtown Boise, looking fairly nice. Partly cloudy skies, and you might want to get used to this. You may notice that there's a little bit of haze that's starting to build up on the horizon. That's in part because of some air stagnation. An air stagnation advisory has been put into effect for the Treasure Valley and a couple of surrounding regions. It's going to be lasting until December 6th. We'll talk about that in a few moments, the reason why it's happening. Taking a quick look at temperatures that we saw, not warm at all. 30s up in the mountain ranges, 20s as you've moved further east and a little bit north too. McCall sitting at 25, Stanley at 24, Ketchum sitting at 34. 40s down in the Magic Valley as well, and pretty consistent low 40s or those upper 30s across the board. And that air stagnation is in part because we don't have a lot of stuff that's moving into our area. We don't have any new systems, new changes, nothing really of the sort. We got this low pressure system that's kind of bringing in these cooler temperatures, but not bringing in any of the precipitation. So take a look what's going to be happening over the next couple of days. Not too much of a change as we go into the start of next week. Going into next Thursday, not too much of a difference. That air stagnation advisory lasting until at least December 6th. We'll pay attention to the National Weather Service, whether they're going to extend that or potentially bring it to an end on the 6th. But you see this high pressure ridge is going to bring in some warmer temperatures. Maybe going into next Friday, we might see a slight chance of precipitation, but this isn't until next weekend that we're going to be watching this, and you never know on a 7-day forecast whether it's going to be happening or not. We'll just have to pay attention going closer to that, but you're not going to see too much of a change. No major system really bringing in new precipitation, and that in part is not going to be bringing in any new snows. You can take a live look at Tamarack. Not too much activity happening up there. It's not too bad though when it comes to snowpack. Snowpack numbers are actually looking pretty okay for the start of the year. Really healthy for the southeastern part of the Gem State. Mountain ranges are looking okay too. Pretty par the course when it comes to the Treasure Valley, and just north of that, some of the lower numbers honestly way up in the Panhandle, but outside of that, things looking pretty all right for the start of the season. But going into the rest of this week and the start of next weekend, probably not going to be seeing too much activity. We'll have to just pay attention to it, but it's going to be pretty normal, par the course going into next week. Taking a look at the temperatures we saw today, high of 41 in Boise, high of 40 in Twin Falls. Going into tomorrow, going to be just a smidge cooler, but nothing too crazy. 40 in Boise, 40 again down in Twin Falls, 34 over in Ketchum. We will see a slight warming trend in our 6 to 10 day outlook. As you can see, warmer temperatures expected across the board for the western United States, but nothing too crazy. Don't expect any 60-degree temperature ranges like we saw not too long ago. Going to be sticking pretty par the course into the 40s. Taking a look at tomorrow, what we're expecting Saturday, 40s almost everywhere, 30s in Caldwell, 30s in Nampa, and nice cool nights expected with 20s across the board for the lows. Partly cloudy skies, and that's going to be the normal moving forward as well. Magic Valley will be sitting into the 40s for Gooding and in Jerome. Oakley will break into 41, but 30s everywhere else, and nice cool nights into the teens expected for most areas. Going into the rest of this week, we'll see a slight warm up, but not too much of a difference. Really, a slight range of about 6 degrees is not that crazy. 39 expected on Saturday. Going into next weekend, 45. That's it. Just a small incremental climb going into the start of the week, and then going into midweek. Those 20s will turn into mid-20s by the end of next week, and you'll see potentially 40s expected into next weekend as well. Not too much of a change. It's going to be pretty similar to the Treasure Valley as well. 40s expected in the lows, 40s the lows expected, and then 20s expected for the low temperatures. I meant low 40s across the board for the start of the week. We'll start to climb into the mid-40s though around midweek. Hopefully temperatures will rise back into the 30s going into next week, and we'll just have to pay attention to it. But a pretty standard forecast. Nothing too crazy or shifting. Partly cloudy skies, 40s expected to be the highs, and 20s the lows.